you are destroying yourself, and you call it love. You call it loyalty. You call it being a good person. But in the cold light of reality, it is none of those things. It is self-sabotage wrapped in a moral blanket. There is a terrifying truth about human nature that most people are too afraid to admit. A truth that Niccolo Machiavelli, the master of dark strategy, whispered to princes and rulers 500 years ago. It is a lesson that civilized society tries to bury. The lesson is this: not everyone can be saved, and more importantly, not everyone wants to be saved. There are people in this world who are not looking for a hand up. They are looking for an anchor, and if you offer them your hand, they will not climb out of the water. They will pull you in. They will use your body as a raft to keep themselves afloat while you slowly drown in the depths of their chaos. You know who I am talking about. You have met them. Perhaps you are bleeding for one right now. The friend who is always in a crisis, the partner who drains your soul but demands your patience, the family member who takes your money, your energy and your peace and repays you with resentment. You try to fix them, you try to heal them. You think that if you just love them enough, if you just sacrifice enough, they will change. But Machiavelli would look at you with cold eyes and tell you the brutal truth. A man who tries to be good all the time is bound to come to ruin among so many who are not good. Compassion without boundaries is not a virtue, it is a weakness. It is a fatal flaw that predators, parasites, and the willfully ignorant will exploit until you are nothing but a hollow shell. Today, we are going to perform a surgery on your conscience. We are going to cut away the rotting tissue of blind kindness. We are going to explore the 6 types of people you must never, under any circumstances, try to save. This is not about being cruel. This is about survival. This is about preserving your power so you can use it for those who actually deserve it. If you are tired of being the one who gives everything and gets nothing but pain in return, listen closely. This might be the most important lesson of your life, but be warned. Once you see human nature through this lens, you can never go back to the comforting lie of ignorance. Before we identify the faces of these 6 dangerous archetypes, you must understand the mechanics of the savior trap. Why do you do it? Why do you rush into the burning building when the person inside lit the match? It is because you have been conditioned to believe that your worth is tied to your utility. You believe that goodness is measured by how much pain you can endure for others. You think that saying no is an act of betrayal. Machiavelli viewed this as a strategic suicide. In his world, and in the real world we live in today, energy is a finite resource. Power is finite. Time is finite. When you pour your resources into a black hole, you are not just wasting them. You are actively funding the destruction of your own future. Imagine a ship. It has a limited amount of space, a limited amount of supplies. If you bring everyone on board, the sick, the mad, the saboteurs, the ship does not become a haven. It sinks, and then everyone dies, including the innocent, including you. To save the ship, you must be ruthless about who you allow on deck. This is the concept of therapeutic darkness. It is the understanding that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let someone hit the bottom. Because the bottom is the only place where the illusion shatters. The bottom is the only place where they are forced to stand up or stay down. When you save them, you steal their lesson. You interrupt the natural law of cause and effect. So, who are they? Who are the ones you must cut loose? Let's look at the first one, the most subtle and often the most dangerous. Type 1, the architect of chaos. The first type is the person who is perpetually followed by a dark cloud. Machiavelli warned against associating with the unlucky, not out of superstition, but out of observation. He noticed that some people are not victims of fate. They are architects of their own destruction. You know this person. Every time you speak to them, there is a new tragedy. They lost their job, their car broke down, their partner cheated on them, the landlord kicked them out. It is a relentless, exhausting stream of misfortune. At first, your heart bleeds for them. You think, my God, how can one person suffer so much? You step in. You lend them money. You offer them advice. You connect them with opportunities. And for a week, maybe a month, things seem calm. But then, the chaos returns. The job you got them. They lost it because the boss was out to get them. The money you lent them, it's gone, swallowed by a new emergency. Listen to me, bad luck is contagious. This is not magic, it is psychology. The chronically unlucky are people who lack judgment, discipline, and self-awareness. They make impulsive decisions. They ignore red flags. They antagonize people. They are lazy in their thinking and careless in their actions. But here is the trap. They never take responsibility. It is always the world doing it to them. It is always bad luck. If you try to save the architect of chaos, you invite their chaos into your life. You become part of their collateral damage. Machiavelli understood that human fortunes are linked. When you tie your boat to a sinking ship, physics does not care about your good intentions. You go down with them. I have seen brilliant men and women lose their reputations, their savings, and their sanity because they tried to stabilize a person who is addicted to instability. You cannot fix a person who loves the drama of their own demise. Why do they do it? Because chaos gets them attention. Chaos absolves them of the need to work. If they are always the victim, they never have to be the victor. Stop trying to be their umbrella. Step back. Let the rain fall on them. Let them get wet. Let them get cold. Because only the cold will make them realize they need to build their own shelter. If you keep shielding them, you are merely an enabler of their incompetence. And eventually, their bad luck will become your bad luck. Keep your distance. Protect your peace. The infection of misfortune spreads through contact. Quarantine yourself from the architect of chaos. Type 2. The bottomless pit. The second type is perhaps the most painful to deal with. This is the person who demands your help, consumes your help, and then resents you for it. Machiavelli wrote extensively about the fickle nature of gratitude. He said, "Men are quick to change their nature when their interests change." The ungrateful person suffers from a deep, malignant wound of entitlement. They do not view your kindness as a gift. They view it as a debt you owe them. Watch the pattern. The first time you help them, they are effusive. "Thank you. You saved me. I don't know what I would do without you." You feel good. You feel useful. The hook is set. The second time, they ask with less hesitation. You help again. They say thanks, but it's shorter, less eye contact. The third time, they don't ask. They expect. And if you delay, if you hesitate, they get irritated. They make a passive-aggressive comment. "I thought friends helped friends." This is the bottomless pit. Nothing you give will ever be enough to fill the void inside them. Because the void is not a lack of resources, it is a lack of character. When you help someone like this, you create a dangerous dynamic. You become the master and they become the dependent. And human beings, by their dark nature, hate those they depend on. Dependence breeds contempt. Deep down, they hate you because your strength reminds them of their weakness. Your generosity highlights their inability to provide for themselves. So they take your money, they take your time, and they secretly sharpen a knife to put in your back. Have you ever noticed that the people you helped the most are often the ones who speak the worst of you when you are not around? This is why. Machiavelli advises that if you must help, do it in a way that does not create ongoing dependence. Or better yet, do not help at all if you sense the rot of entitlement. How do you spot them? Test them. Say no to a small request. The reaction to no tells you everything you need to know about a person's character. A healthy person respects your boundary. The bottomless pit will react with anger, guilt-tripping, or sudden coldness. They will try to punish you for closing the tap. If you see this reaction, run. Do not walk. Run. You cannot save someone who believes the world owes them a living. You will pour your life essence into them, and they will look at you with dead eyes and ask, "Is that it?" Do not cast your pearls before swine. They will trample them and then tear you to pieces. Type 3. The smiling saboteur. Now we descend into darker territory. The first two types drain you through incompetence or entitlement. This third type drains you through malice. Machiavelli knew that envy is the most destructive force in any court, any business, and any circle of friends. The smiling saboteur is often the person closest to you. They are the friend who has been with you since the beginning. They are the peer who started at the same level as you. But then you grew, you succeeded, you improved, and they stayed the same. They cannot stand it, but they are smart. They don't attack you openly. Open enemies are easy. You can see their swords. The smiling saboteur hides their dagger behind a grin. They want to save you from your own ambition. Listen to the way they speak to you when you share good news. "I got the promotion." "Oh, really? That's great. But aren't the hours terrible? You're going to burn out. I'm just worried about you." "I met someone amazing." "Nice. Just be careful. You know how you get your hopes up. I don't want to see you hurt again." Do you hear it? The subtle poison, the feigned concern. They cloak their envy in the language of protection. They try to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. They want to lower your confidence so you fall back down to their level. Machiavelli warned that men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that he who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. The envious person wants to save you from success because your success is a mirror reflecting their failure. If you try to bring them along, if you try to save them by pulling them up to your level, they will subconsciously or consciously sabotage the journey. They will create drama right before your big meeting. They will give you bad advice. They will reveal your secrets to your rivals. They don't want you to win. You cannot save the envious. Envy is an incurable disease of the soul. It eats the vessel that holds it. The only way to deal with the smiling saboteur is the law of concealment. Hide your wins, hide your joy, hide your plans. Machiavelli advises silence. Do not give them the ammunition of your happiness. When you are around them, be bland, be boring, be struggling. How is business? Oh, you know, grind, it's tough. Feed them the misery they crave, and keep your victories for those who truly wish you well. If you try to save them, if you try to fix their insecurity with your love, you are hugging a suicide bomber. They will blow up the bridge you are building just to watch you fall into the ravine. Never let them know your next move. Never let them know your true power. Pause for a moment. Breathe. I know this is heavy. I know faces are flashing in your mind right now. Names you haven't wanted to say out loud. You feel the guilt rising. The voice in your head saying, "But they need me. But I'm different. But I can change them." Kill that voice. That voice is not your conscience. That voice is your ego. It is your arrogance, thinking you are powerful enough to rewrite human nature. You are not God. You are a human being with a limited battery. If you continue to plug yourself into these machines that run on pain, you will die. Spiritually, mentally, and eventually, physically. Stress kills, betrayal kills. We have 3 more types to cover. And these next 3, these are the ones that manipulate your deepest vulnerabilities. These are the ones that leave the deepest scars. Prepare yourself. We are going deeper into the labyrinth. Type 4, the professional victim. We arrive now at the most deceptive creature in the dark forest of human psychology. This type does not come at you with a knife. They do not come at you with arrogance. They come at you on their knees. The professional victim. Machiavelli understood power better than any man in history, and he knew that power comes in 2 forms, fear and sympathy. The tyrant uses fear, but the weak use sympathy. And sympathy is a drug that bypasses your logical brain and injects directly into your emotional center. You must understand this distinction. There are victims of circumstance, and then there are professional victims. A true victim wants to escape their pain. A professional victim wants to farm their pain. They cultivate it. They decorate it. They wear their trauma like a crown of thorns, demanding that you bow before their suffering. They weaponize their fragility. I can't do it because I'm depressed. You're hurting me by asking me to take responsibility. The world is too hard for someone as sensitive as me. If you try to save this person, you enter a game you cannot win, because to save them would mean taking away their identity. If they get better, they lose their excuse. If they get strong, they lose the attention that their weakness guarantees, so they will fight your solutions. You offer a ladder, they say their arms are too tired. You offer a rope, they say it burns their hands. You offer to pull them up, they go limp, making themselves heavier, forcing you to carry their dead weight. Machiavelli would warn you, the one who relies on the pity of others builds his house on sand. But you, the savior, are building your house on a swamp. Every time you rescue them, you validate their helplessness. You teach them that being broken is a currency. You are paying them to stay sick. And here is the darkest part. The moment you stop, the moment you say, I cannot carry you anymore, the lamb becomes a wolf. The professional victim will turn on you with a ferocity that will shock you. They will paint you as the villain. They will tell the world that you abandoned them. They will rewrite history to make your exhaustion look like cruelty. They need a villain to complete their story, and by trying to be their hero, you have auditioned for the role of the villain when you inevitably fail. Do not play this role. Compassion for a professional victim is not love. It is masochism. It is a refusal to respect the dignity of their own agency. You must let them fall. You must let them face the void without your hand to hold. Because only when the audience leaves does the actor stop performing. Type 5. The arrogant fool. Type 5 is the enemy of wisdom, the enemy of growth, and if you are not careful, the enemy of your sanity. The arrogant fool. This is not just someone who is unintelligent. Ignorance can be cured with knowledge. This is someone who refuses to know. This is someone who is in love with their own opinion, even when that opinion is destroying their life. Machiavelli had a strict rule for princes. A prince who is not wise himself cannot be wisely counseled. He meant that you cannot teach a man who thinks he is already God. You see this person making the same mistakes over and over. They choose the wrong partners. They invest in scams. They start fights they can't finish. You, with your good heart and your clear eyes, you see the cliff they are walking toward. You run to them. You say, "Stop, look at the map, look at the data, you are going to fall." And what do? Do they thank you? No, they sneer. They argue. They debate. They tell you that you don't understand. They construct elaborate mental gymnastics to prove that the sky is green and the ground is made of clouds. Why do you waste your breath? Understand this ruthless lesson. You cannot use logic to get a man out of a position he didn't use logic to get into. The arrogant fool does not want truth. They want validation. And when you offer them truth, they perceive it as an attack on their ego. By trying to save them from their ignorance, you become their enemy. You become the personification of the reality they are trying to deny. So they will attack you. They will call you condescending. They will mock your intelligence. They will drag you into endless, circular arguments that drain your spirit and leave you exhausted. And the worst part? When they finally fall off that cliff, and they will fall, they will not learn. They will blame the wind. They will blame the shoes. They will blame you for distracting them. Stop trying to be the teacher to those who have no desire to be students. It is arrogance on your part to think you can force wisdom into a closed mind. Machiavelli suggests a colder approach. Silence. Let reality be their teacher. Reality is a harsh tutor. It does not argue. It does not debate. It simply delivers consequences. When the arrogant fool speaks, do not correct them. Do not debate them. Simply nod and say, "Interesting," and then step back. Watch the crash from a safe distance. Protect your intellect. Do not dull your blade trying to cut through stone. Save your wisdom for those who ask for it, for those who have the humility to say, I don't know, help me. The arrogant fool must be left to the mercy of the world. It is the only thing strong enough to break their shell. Type 6, the scorpion, and now the final type. The one that breaks the hearts of the most loyal people, the history repeater, the scorpion. There is an old fable. A scorpion asks a frog to carry him across a river. The frog says, no, you will sting me and I will die. The scorpion says, why would I do that? Then we would both drown. The frog agrees, seeing the logic. Halfway across, the scorpion stings the frog. As they both sink, the frog gasps. Why? The scorpion replies, it is my nature. There are people in this world whose nature is to betray, whose nature is to destroy. This is type 6, the person you have forgiven 1,000 times. They cheat on you. You forgive them. They steal from you. You forgive them. They lie to your face. You forgive them. Why? Because they cry. Because they promise. I've changed, they say. I swear to God, this is the last time. I'm going to therapy. I'm going to church. I'm different now. And you want to believe them. You want to believe in redemption. You want to be the saint who saved the sinner. But Machiavelli warns, men never change their nature. Behavior is a pattern. Character is a pattern. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. When you save the scorpion from the consequences of their sting, you are not helping them evolve. You are interfering with their data. You are teaching them that they can sting and still survive. You are training them to hurt you. Every time you take them back, you lose a piece of your self-respect. And they respect you less too. How can they respect someone who treats themselves so poorly? They view your forgiveness not as mercy, but as permission. If they took me back after I did X, they will take me back after I do Y. You are looking for the good in them, but you are ignoring the shadow that is consuming them. Machiavelli advised princes to be wary of those who have betrayed others, for they will inevitably betray you. Loyalty is not a decision, it is a habit. Betrayal is not a mistake, it is a habit. If you are dealing with a repeater, you must perform the hardest act of all, the amputation. You cannot taper off. You cannot be friends from a distance. You must cut it off, completely, irrevocably. It will hurt. It will feel like you are cutting off your own arm. But that arm is gangrenous. If you keep it, the poison reaches your heart, and you die. The scorpion cannot be saved. It can only be avoided. Accept their nature. Believe them the first time they show you who they are. Stop projecting your conscience onto a predator. Now you see them. The 6 faces of destruction. The unlucky, the ungrateful, the envious, the victim, the fool, the scorpion. You see them in your phone contacts. You see them at your dinner table. And now you feel a heaviness. Because you realize that to follow this path, you must make choices that will make you look bad in the eyes of the weak. You will be called cold. You will be called selfish. You will be called Machiavellian. Good. Wear those titles like armor, because what they call selfishness, the wise call self-preservation. What they call coldness, the wise call clarity. You must transition from the savior to the sovereign. A savior sacrifices himself to light a fire for others, burning until he is ash. A sovereign builds a lighthouse. He stands tall. He shines a light, but he does not jump into the waves. Those who want to be saved will swim to the light. Those who want to drown will drown in the dark. But the lighthouse remains. This is the ultimate lesson. You are not responsible for the souls of other men. You are responsible for the vessel that carries your own. When you stop trying to save the unsavable, a strange thing happens. You reclaim your energy. You reclaim your time. Your anxiety vanishes. Your finances improve. Your health returns. You begin to build an empire of your own peace. And in that peace, you find the strength to help the few who actually deserve it, the ones who take your advice, the ones who return your loyalty, the ones who grow when you water them. That is true power. Not the power to endure suffering, but the power to choose who is worthy of your time. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few really know what you are." Let the world see a calm, untouched surface. Let them think what they want. But deep down, know that you have mastered the hardest art of all, the art of letting go. But be careful, as you cut these people away, as you rise in power and silence, you will face a final enemy, the most dangerous one of all, because once the parasites are gone, you will be left alone in the room, and you will have to look in the mirror. And you might realize that the person you were trying to save all this time was simply a projection of the part of yourself you haven't healed yet. What if the weakness isn't just out there? What if it's in you? That is a shadow for another time. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only what I can show publicly. There are videos I cannot upload for everyone. There are aspects of dark psychology that I simply cannot discuss publicly on YouTube without being censored or demonetized. The algorithm suppresses the most powerful information. Those exist behind the join button. If you're still here, you're not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't. But if you want what's hidden, click the join button and step into the architect level. You will unlock exclusive, uncensored videos that dive into the deepest parts of the human psyche. Most won't. That's the point.